painted and decorated the internet. Again, thanks for following me. You can give your comments, likes, press your buttons and everything later, but today we're going to talk about wallpapering. We're going to do it in segments. There'll be a few videos all put together. It's all one room and I'll splice it as I need. Probably we've got 5 parts to it. There'll be a lot to take in, so I'll do it in sections of 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4, that sort of thing. But yeah, hope you enjoy it. Hope this is something that you'll benefit from. You might take away some golden nuggets of information that I'm giving out to you like I normally do. Giving you the tips of the trade, how we do it properly. No amateur stuff here. Professional decorator Phil Beckwith. Yes, Phil Beckwith, the professional decorator. So yeah, stick with it. Let's see how we go. Comments below. Hope you like it. Thanks. Welcome everybody. This morning I'm just going to show you a brief explanation of doing some wallpapering and using one of these laser liners. I've got, you can see, proper laser liner, gives you a horizontal and a vertical plumb line. I'm just going to tell you how I'm using it on this job here. Now I'm in a small 3rd, 4th box bedroom, not very big at all. I'm just going to tell you how I'm going to use this laser liner. Now, basic principles. We've got actually a non-woven wallpaper today, which is going to be an easy one to hang because it's obviously a paste the wall non-woven, but we've still lined it. Now we've lined it vertically. You can see used an 800 grade lining. We've lined it up and down, not cross-lined. Now the reason being is because originally the wallpaper we were going to use was going to be hung across the top, going all the way along, but now customers decided we'll go straight forward, up and down with it, which doesn't matter because when we always do lining, we stagger the joints for the lining. So where you would start with your finished wallpaper, it shouldn't correspond with any joints, and that's the reason why you do horizontal cross lining, because what you don't want, if you can see, you can't see it on this camera, you actually have horizontals up and down, and you don't want your corresponding wallpaper to match across it. So your joints are obviously going up and down, and what you're not wanting is corresponding, can you see that, a joint matching a joint, which won't happen because the way we've started and the way I do my wallpapering will be covering it, so no problem. So yeah, that's it. We've lined the walls. It's only just use 800 grade lining paper. Got butt joints. We have none of this gaps and going around filling it with filler afterwards. We get butt joints. Anywhere where the trimming of the lining paper is slightly off, just go around and check it. If there's anything just a bit proud, like rub with a bit of sandpaper and away you go. It's always advisable just to nib over your walls anyway, just in case anything's stuck to the walls, but nib over your walls after you've lined, just with a bit of used sandpaper. Just check your joints, anything that might be overlapped slightly because the trimming of the wallpaper or the walls out slightly, just get it down. But still, with lining paper, we're butt jointing, and unfortunately, because I'm using my camera phone, you can't see these joints. They're tight as a drum, slightly on and off where it suddenly overlaps, but bit of a sand down that goes. Right, that said, we're not talking about that, we're talking about the laser liner. Right, how would you start this room? You look round, where do you want to hide the joint? You're going to hide the joint where nobody's really going to see it. So I'm going to hide the joint for matching up, going all the way around the room in this angle there, which is at the back of the door. I'm not one of these for trying to lose it above a frame, because if the pattern's slightly out, it can stick out like a sore thumb. Naturally, behind a door, you want to lose it so nobody really sees it. You're going to get it not matching all the way around. You can match all the other angles, but your final corner is where it's not going to match perfectly. But if it's behind a door, you're not really going to see it. Don't try and lose it above these. Splicing it in and trimming, it's not good practice. It's a little bit amateurish for my liking. Sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you don't, but start as you mean to go on, look professional, get it done properly. And now I'm going to tell you where I'm going to start. I'm not going to start straight away in that angle. I'm going to start on this door frame here. I'm going to start on this door frame, work right to left, going all the way around, and then my final lengths will be above there, going that way into that final angle. Because when I've gone right to left and I've gone all the way around to the window, you see the window, coming back along the long wall, I will finish on this big wall here to match up to the angle there. You can just see that, yeah. But what we're talking about is this laser liner, saving grace. I'm going to be a little bit awkward working the camera phone. I'm just going to turn it on. Can you see it? Yes, brilliant, you can see it. Now you can see a horizontal. Oh, let's do it horizontal, and you can see a vertical. Now when you're doing papering, you want to see what door frames are like. If the door frame's good and true, that should be plumb. And you could hang, literally, you could hang to the door frame. Now what I do is, and I've done it just before I turn the camera on, I've marked it. Let's just try and get the wallpaper flat. The width of the wallpaper I put up against the frame, and then mark the edge there. You can just see where the pencil mark's been. You can't see it. Pencil mark's been at the edge of the paper, and I do that 3 or 4 times all the way down. That tells me that if I hung that wallpaper to that door frame, put that down, the marks on the wall, which is just there, is where the paper is. The paper is there. Now I've got the laser liner. Let's see that. I'll line the laser liner up where the pencil marks are. Turn the horizontal off, just on the vertical. So I'm lining the laser up on the pencil marks where the end of the wallpaper would be. And I'm going to see how vertical that actually is. Now I'm looking. My pencil marks on the laser liner there. My next one up, it's a couple of mil out. My next one up is about 3 mil out. So that tells me that that door frame's not good. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to rejig. I can see it, you can't. I'm going to move to the right the laser line. I've just moved it probably about 1/4 inch. That allows me to allow for the tolerance of that door frame running out. So down at the bottom, it'll be just a fraction overlapping that door frame. A bit more there and a bit more there, and I can trim it. It means that the top part of the wallpaper on that right hand side will be just overlapping that door frame, which is fine, because once I've overlapped there, the next piece can hang across there, and then across there, and then down. So I'm quite happy with that. So the idea is, with the laser liner, I can get a true vertical plumb without using a plumb bob, top to bottom. And I've actually marked it already with a pencil because I knew I'd be the one hand gang. I've marked it with a pencil where I want the laser liner to be, up at the top. I'll turn that light off, would it? Can you see it any better? Probably not. Let's keep it like that. So I've marked it at the top where I want the paper to be hung. I've lined up the laser liner. I'm just doing it now to get it right. I've lined it up at the top, middle and bottom. 3 spots. Don't do it in one because you don't know how it's going to be. Do it in 3. So top, middle and bottom. And that's where I'm going to hang the paper. I'm going to hang the paper there, going back to the door frame. There'll be a slight overhang on the door frame. That'll be trimmed off. That won't matter. And we'll be slightly overhanging that top, which is good. Makes it easier for going that way. So once that's on, what I'll do, I'll put the horizontal on there, and I'll find a spot on the wallpaper to keep the match of that length matching with that length. When it comes into the corner, you see it's coming back round, so I can keep an eye on the actual horizontal pattern as I go into an angle and back out. You can always keep a plumb bob laser liner true as you come out the angle. These angles might not be very good, so what you put in, you might have to actually trim off. might have to trim off a little piece of strip of paper. Never go into a corner and then back out, because when it dries, the paste, it caravans and it balloons up. So what I do, once I've got my measurements between the edge of the paper that will be there to the corner, let's just rounded figures. So that's 10 inches. As I do another measurement at the bottom, it might be 10 and a quarter. Might be down at the bottom, it might be nearly 11. That means it's running out. So you allow for the widest width. That means I'll be cutting a strip off. Even though this is paste the wall, I'll do this strip, I'll cut it dry. I'll cut slightly more than 11 inches. If it's 11 inches, I'll allow a quarter, a few mil, let's call it. It's only one slat round, so just slightly over 11. But as I go up, that 11 and a quarter will be more and more and more. Get it on and then retrim it so you keep an edge matching quarter all the way down. That goes in nicely. But what's the problem? I'll ask the question to you, what's the problem? Obviously what I've cut off will need to be cut off the piece that's going into it from this side. So where it was bigger there, smaller, as in trimming off, it'll be the opposite. You'll find that the top will match nicely, won't need so much chopping off, cutting off. But as you come down, where you were trimming off a little bit extra at the top there, when you come onto this length, you'll be trimming it off at the bottom. I'll explain that on another video when I splice it all together. But I think for now, we're covering this laser liner quite well. The laser liner is going to do me a horizontal to keep the pattern going, because this pattern is 53. It's a straight through 53. Now you can see that pink line there. What I'd do is match that. Well, let's get it right. I'd match that pattern all the way around, or whatever the pattern is. So that keeps it all the way around. Keeping an eye on my verticals as well, because my verticals will be in and out of the angle. If you don't understand this, and I'm going too quick, because obviously if you know it, it's quite simple. If you don't know it, just ask the questions. But this is what you do. This is professional paper hanging. This is not amateurs going into a corner and then straight back out. This is hanging, getting a true angle, a true edge, and then working from the edge into an angle and then back out. This is called doing an internal angle. So we're on an easy paper because it's a paste the wall. If it was pasting the paper, it's just a little bit messy when you're going over things. You just got to have a, like I've got down here, I've got a bucket of warm water to sponge off any paste if anything gets on any of this polish work. It also just wipes down the joints when I get a butt joint going. So for now, can we leave it at that, and I'll put another video together after I've got my first length on. You see that? I've got a light switch. I'm going to go round it, but I'm going to go tuck paper behind it. So I've loosened it off for now. When I drop my paper down over it, you cut. I've got another video with cutting round switches, one of my early ones, but I'll explain this again. You cut across where the corner is. Don't cut onto the actual socket. A lot of people see it, they cut onto the socket and score the socket, make marks. Let's get your pencil. You'll find where the corner is. Just mark it with your pencil, 4 corners. Poke your pencil through the middle, then get your shears. And we're talking about shears, we're not talking about scissors. Hairdressers use scissors. Surgeons use scissors. We're on about shears. Get your shears, cut into that corner where you've marked with your pencils. Same there and there. Fold it back, trim it across so you've got a bit of an overlap. Tuck it down. You might need to unscrew your screws a little bit more. Tuck it in, and away you go. Just a light on. See me a bit better. So we're happy. We've got a good true line for your laser liner. This is the laser liner I've got. It's made by LASERLINER. Smart cross liner. Never look into it. You don't want to burn your eyes. Comes with a pair of these glasses. If I put that over the lens, yeah, if I put that over the lens, look how it shows up that laser even better. So if you're in a situation where you can't actually see the laser very well, put these glasses on and it shows up that. That's brilliant. I love that. But my tools in my back pockets, got my overalls on, got my overalls on over, you know what I'm like, called overalls. Over my chinos, no problem, just get a couple of sizes too big on your overalls. So in my back pocket, got my hanging brush, I've got a ruler, my hanging brush, I've even got a squeegeing out spatula because that's nice to get into the angles up at the top. And I've also got my shears in my pocket. Got a blade as well, little screwdriver, got a blade, yeah, got a screwdriver for the sockets, and I think that's about it. Don't forget, I've got my bucket of warm water. Got to be able to put your hand in it. So hot, but you've got to get your hand in it. That dissolves any paste. While we're on about paste, oh, press the like button. Is it there or there? Press the like button, subscribe. Right, paste. People say, what paste do you use? Well, out of all the paste that we used to use Crown's own brand paste, and then they seemed to change the formula, and I think it went to Beeline. Never cared for Beeline paste. I've always found it too sticky. That seems a bit of an oxymoron when you're talking about paste, but too sticky to the point that when you're trying to wipe it off anything, it was smearing. Not easy to work with. Now, we use tub paste. It's very, very few times now we use flake packet paste. We find that the papers we're using need a tub paste, because tub paste, low water content, you don't get your edge peel like you do if you're using a packet paste. So we used to use Crown. They changed the formula, went to a Beeline brand, and then somebody recommended on one of the decorating forums years and years ago, Wickes' own brand paste, which is there. And I say this must be made by the manufacturers of who used to make Crown's own brand, because it's virtually exactly the same. It's lovely. You can use it straight out the tub. If you need to ease it, and I mean just thin it down slightly because it doesn't need to be so thick, you can just add a bit of water to it, mix it up, and it's good to go. And as I say, we use this for putting lining paper on. Obviously thin it for your lining paper, and then when we do wallpapers over the top, we're using it for that as well. So it's a tub paste, and the reason we use a tub paste is, i.e. the low water content, that stops your edges curling. It's good on angles if you're having to overlap and put paper on paper. Saves the need, if you use it neat, saves the need for any overlap adhesive. I can't remember the last time I used overlap adhesive for anything. I've always been all right with this tub paste. If you have got really specialist papers that are very expensive, sometimes the safer option is read the instructions, see what it says. If it says use their recommended paste, use their recommended paste. But for now, Wickes tub paste, it's ideal. Use it, check it out, see what you think. Not use Solvite for a long while, not use Solvite for a long while, tub paste. Use a bit of packet paste Solvite if we're doing basic bit of lining, something like that, but no, it's mainly now tub paste. I think I've covered everything. I don't think I've missed anything off. I'll put a couple of these videos together so you can see how I go on, but I just wanted to talk about using the laser liner, how I approach using that laser liner. We've got lined walls. Always line your walls. You read the instructions on wallpapers, it always says have a clean, sound surface, an even colour. Well, an even colour is your lining paper. Your lining paper gives you a sound surface to work on. It's always nicer to work on lining paper than trying to go over walls that have been plastered. Even if you have sized it using thin down paste, or you can use now guards. Guards is a very good one for putting on as call it a size. You can still get proper packet size, lap paste size, whatever it's called. I've not used any since college, because really you're evening out the porosity of the surface. And what do you need to do for that? Well, you use a packet paste, thin down, or you can use guards, and it's nice to work over. Never work over walls that haven't had something on the surface, because all it will do is just suck the paste off the back of your paper that you're trying to put on, and you'll have no grip. And also slip. You hear people talk about slip. You need a bit of slide and slip with your wallpaper. Well, if you've got proper paste on a surface like this, lined, you've got a little bit of maneuverability. But that's it. Let's call it a day from that. I think I've covered everything. We've done an internal. We've talked about measuring off the door. I'm going to lose it in that angle there. My pattern match will be there. Hopefully nothing runs out too much that just get my finger. I'm going to get my laser getting me flowing around with the pattern all the way around. Now, because this paper is a bit of a random repeat, it says 53 centimeters. I'm just going to quite simply, because there's going to be a lot of furniture in this room, quite simply hang from the top, and whatever my first length is, I'll keep that going all the way around with that pattern. It's It's not one of those papers that have got a big bold pattern that really wants to be measuring between the ceiling and the floor and trying to get a match. So whatever you cut off at the top, you've got the same sort of pattern. It doesn't, smaller patterns don't really warrant doing that sort of thing. Bigger patterns, sometimes it's nicer if you can do that. But you know how we normally keep a pattern going all the way around the ceiling. Sometimes ceilings are running out and you can find it running away with your paper. So you've got to weigh it. Every job's going to be different. You can't just go straight in and say, oh, I'll do it what I did before. Weigh up your ceilings, weigh up your walls, weigh up your skirting, weigh up the paper, weigh up the paper that you're using. So I think this is a simple little video for you today. Bit basic because I'm using off my camera phone, which isn't the best. Got a little room, about 7 or 8 rolls on this. Got plenty just in case they need any sparing in the future. Again, it's polished wood. The carpet's going, that's why I've not got a sheet down. I'm not worried about a sheet now. We had sheets up for when we were painting the ceilings, but not now. Kept it clean, and that's it. So thanks for following. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, comments below. Give us some of your comments how you do your papering. Don't forget, Phil the professional painter and decorator, giving you top tips to help you with your papering. Top tips: don't go into an angle in wall. Let's cut it, trim it. You might have to trim coming back out again. We can talk about that another time. Same with externals. I like to wrap it round a fraction, cut it and then rehang. Don't do this going round in one. You can come unstuck. People might get away with it wrapping round in one, but there's nothing worse than seeing a paper stretching on you and getting creases on a corner. I'll look at the camera just there instead of the screen. So yeah, what I'm telling you is only what I've been taught over the years. 31 years this year. Been to college, told you before, been to college, 4 years at college, loved it, loved college. Learned loads of things at college, working alongside day release at college and then working alongside professionals. You learn quite a lot. But that's it. Press the like, thumbs up, comments, over and out. See you on the next one. Bye bye.